Hey guys, it's Lefty back again, and I want to talk with you with something that that just happened today. Recently, well, today is recently. The people found out about it today. I don't know for how long this has been the case, but PKA 161, I was almost going to say 151, PKA 161 was copyright flagged and taken down by, and if you go to PKA 161, if you still have a link for it, it says this video is no longer available because of a content ID claim or a copyright claim by Ryan Fitzgerald. And Ryan Fitzgerald was the guest, the phone call me guy guest that we had on the show. He was a very interesting guest, to say the least. And there was a big fallout over his appearance subsequently following the show. But the interesting thing is that today PKA 161 is no longer available because of a copyright claim, supposedly. It says by Ryan Fitzgerald. Now, the question is it actually that Ryan Fitzgerald, or is this an egregious abuse of YouTube's Content ID copyright claim system? And none of the two options are very good. For those of you that don't know, during the show, before Ryan was on, we tried to call him once, twice, and then he finally called us back. But Woody showed Ryan's Call Me video. It was very short, and he showed it as a way to introduce Ryan and what he does and what he is and why he was an interesting guest. And as I see it, the whole purpose of the Call Me video was to be disseminated. It was to be shown to people so that Ryan could give out his phone number and people could call him and talk to him and all these things. And Woody showed it on PKA, part of a 4-hour show. And as a result, Ryan or somebody pretending to be Ryan says that this is the likely copyright claim, especially because otherwise YouTube is trying to say that we can't feature Ryan as a guest, even though he knowingly appeared on a show and we said it was a podcast. But this is a copyright claim, and it says because of that showing of Ryan's return video, let's call it, PKA 161 has been taken down. Now, again, I don't know if this is actually Ryan making the claim. He apparently turned a corner on his appearance and his spat with Woody, and he was trying to reach Woody to apologize to him about the things he said in the aftermath of the show. And so maybe this was just an effective lead time. Maybe Ryan made a copyright claim when he was really upset and really angry with his appearance and how he was portrayed on the show, and then he has turned the corner and said, you know what, yeah, I kind of said some things that I shouldn't have as a result, and oh, too bad, I can't take this copyright claim back because it just happened now. I made the claim when I was angry. That could be it. It could be Ryan trying to be spiteful. It could not be Ryan. All it says is Ryan Fitzgerald by YouTube. YouTube says on the PKA 161 video page, it says this copyright claim by Ryan Fitzgerald. Again, that's the guy. And that doesn't mean that it's actually Ryan Fitzgerald, because Ryan isn't a part of YouTube's Content ID system. He's not a music corporation. He's not a production company. He is not a video game developer that gives YouTube pieces of his copyrighted work to put in their Content ID system. This was a claim by somebody who at least was claiming to be Ryan Fitzgerald. Whether it's actually Ryan or whether it's somebody else just trying to game the system, that is yet to be determined. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it was that Ryan. It could be somebody else. But if it indeed is not Ryan, that's even worse. And the fact that somebody could pretend to be this person, make a claim, and have a podcast, which at the time I believe has more than 150,000 views, to have it taken down just immediately without question, I'm assuming without contacting Woody, is actually even more scary than Ryan actually making a claim saying, well, you showed my video, et cetera, et cetera. That's a very scary proposition. And if it is the case, and even if it's not the case, even if it's just Ryan saying, hey, you showed my video, you shouldn't have. I think this is a very, a very real, a very close to home indication of just how draconian and overwrought YouTube's copyright claim Content ID system is, and how easily it can be gamed, how easily it can be abused, because even if it actually is Ryan saying you shouldn't have shown my video in your 4-hour podcast, there is no reason to believe that in an actual setting that wouldn't be viewed as fair use. Now, in the eyes of YouTube, and this is the really crappy part that I don't think a lot of people get, is that First of all, I would classify PKA's use of Ryan's video as fair use. We tried to illustrate, educate people on a coming guest on the show. And also, the video itself was kind of meant to be shown to everybody and disseminated without, Ryan's express written consent. It's been shown on news feeds, on news television shows, on newscasts, on all these other different shows. And I don't think every single one of them went to Ryan and said, hey, can we use this? They just show it because it's fair use. The object of PKA is not to show Ryan's Call Me video, and it wasn't. It never was. And by any definition you really choose, I would say that is fair use. We are not trying to profit. We are not trying to unfairly hamper Ryan's ability to profit from his own original work. Ryan's return video is an original work by him. PKA was not trying to unfairly inhibit his ability to profit from that. Thus, it is not copyright infringement and indeed is fair use, and our use of it is protected. But here's the really crappy part about YouTube, is that's in like a legal sense. So if Woody wanted to really fight this, and I'm sure he is, and I'm sure his network is getting involved. I hope his network is getting involved, and this will all be cleared up. But if let's move it away from Woody now. Let's say a Let's Player says, well, I believe my use of game engine content is fair use. YouTube says otherwise, but I believe it is. And YouTube, in their little whole spiel on copyrighted material, says Copyright Claims Act, et cetera, or Copyright Act, et cetera, you're to follow the law. And YouTube's own policy is very in close relation to actual U.S. copyright law. But YouTube says, no, that's copyright infringement. And I say it's fair use. Well, to fight that, to really fight it, I mean, I can appeal it to YouTube, or this Let's Player or Woody can appeal it to YouTube and hope that YouTube or Google and some intern reads it and says, you know what, yeah, that's kind of fair use, and we're not really going to go to bat for Ryan Fitzgerald or this other game company. Yeah, that's fair use. And so they say, okay. Unless they do that, to actually really fight it, to really say the use of Ryan's return video is fair use, the use of game engine content in a commentated Let's Play format is not a violation of the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, you'd have to go to court. You'd have to sue Google. And that's not happening. I'm not suing Google. GOM isn't suing Google. Bigger Let's Players aren't, Rad Brad isn't going to sue Google. Even PewDiePie or Toby Turner or any of the giants in this business are not going to sue YouTube. And that's what it would take in order to say, no, YouTube, you're not fairly enforcing copyright. You are, in fact, erring way too heavily on the side of people that say they have copyright to this and that our use of it is infringement. We're going to fight you on it. The only way to fight them is to go to court. And even if you win, and a lot of attorneys have argued that commentated Let's Plays are not an infringement of the DMCA or not a violation of the DMCA and thus not a violation of copyright. Even if you win that, YouTube is still a private corporation. And they can do pretty much whatever they want because we all agreed to it. And there may be vagaries in terms of signed contracts and whatnot, but YouTube can just say no copyrighted material, period. And there's really not much that can be done about it. So look at what happened with PKA 161. I really hope it's going to be back. I was really proud of that show. I think it was a very, very different show. It was a great show, but in a very different way than a lot of people expected. I hope it's going to be back. But look at that. That, for everybody that, if you're wondering why are Let's Players so upset about YouTube's Content ID system and about copyright claims, this is why. Because this system is so easily gamed and very, very overwrought in terms of how potent it is and how quickly it just errs on the side of take down the video or remove ads from it. And that is what we're looking forward to in 2014. So there is a very close to home, a very real example of what just rampant copyright adhesion to even false senses of copyright can do. And that's what it is. And PKA 161 is taken down. I don't know when it's going to be back up, but I hope it's very soon. Anyway, guys, that's my time. I got to get out of here. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to drop a like on this video. If you did enjoy, I'm out.